Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter that is natural vegetation and wildlife. Here in this chapter, we'll discuss how huge variety of vegetation are found in our country. So that you know that India is having a huge biodiversity because India is having a huge variation in climatic condition and relief features. So that way here you see the data wise information is given that number of species details that 47,000 plant species found in our country, and India stands 10th in the world and 4th in Asia in terms of number of species, that plant species. That 15,000 flowering plants are found, that is 6% of the world's flowering plants found in our country. That 89,000 animal species are found in India. 1,200 bird species, that is 13% of world's total birds in the world, are found in India. That is 1,200 bird species. The 2,500 fish species are found in our country, which is 12% of the world's stock. 5 to 6% of amphibians, reptiles, and mammals are found in our country. What factors are responsible for huge diversity in flora and fauna? So let us see one by one each one. That first one is relief. Relief is mainly related to type of land, that is land and soil. So land, nature of land influences the type of vegetation. You know that nature of land, plain, plateau, and mountain is causing the type of vegetation found in our country. Fertile, fertile level of land is generally devoted to agriculture. The human being is not leaving unused the fertile level of land that is used for satisfying the needs of human being, that is mainly the food grains. Undulating rough terrain are areas where grassland and woodlands develop and give shelter to a variety of wildlife. Soil. The different types of soil provide basis for different type of vegetation. You know that the different type of plant species vegetation need the different types of soil because they have different types of nutrients with them, and that different types of vegetation needs different types of nutrients. Sandy soil, sandy desert soil support cactus and thorny bushes. Wet marshy deltaic soil support mangroves and deltaic vegetation. The hill slope with some depth of soil have coniferous trees, as hills are having the high altitudes. So depending on that altitude, that coniferous trees are found in that country. Climate. Climate is here mainly related to temperature, photoperiod. So that comes in climate. So temperature, you know that temperature is causing the characters and extent of vegetation mainly determined by temperature along with humidity in air, precipitation, and soil. On the slopes of Himalayas and hills of Peninsula above the height of 915 meters, the fall in temperature affect the type of vegetation. So this example can be seen कि how the increase in height causing the change in type of vegetation, and that change is coming due to decrease of temperature and its growth, and changes it from tropical to subtropical temperate and alpine vegetation means as we move from equator to the polar region we see that variation in the vegetation, types of vegetation. Similarly, when we move from the foothill of mountain to the like this foothill of mountain to the peak of the mountain, we will see that there will be change in variation of vegetation cover. Similarly, as we move from the equator, this equator to polar region, we find there is change in type of vegetation. Now, let us see the precipitation. Here, one thing left, that photoperiod. Photoperiod, the variation in duration of sunlight at different places is due to differences in latitude, altitude, season, and duration of the day. As just before we discussed, okay, when we move from foothill of the mountain to the peak or the equator to the poles, so that influencing factor is that latitude and altitude. And along with these, this season is also playing important role in change of photo period and duration of the day is depending on the season change only. And due to longer duration of sunlight, the trees grows faster in summer we have seen. The precipitation in India, the advancing southwest monsoon and retreating northeast monsoons bring in almost the entire rainfall in our country, including one more, that is western cyclonic disturbances. So areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to other areas of less rainfall. We see that northeastern states where good rainfall occur, the western ghats, there also we see that dense vegetation where good rainfall occur. Similarly, as the change in the precipitation all over the country, we see that there is change in type of vegetation. Why are forests important for human beings? As we are studying here about the natural vegetation, so why are these important? So they are renewable resources, as we know. They naturally grow, they replenish themselves, play a major role in enhancing the quality of environment. As you know that plants, the main provider of oxygen on this earth, and they balance the level of carbon dioxide and oxygen, so they enhance the quality of environment. One more, they cause good rainfall in their areas wherever the good forest cover is there. Modify local climate, as good rainfall occur in that region, so they modify the local climate. Control soil erosion, as their roots are holding soil tightly, so they control soil erosion also. Regulate stream flow. Regulate stream flow means, you know that when rainfall occur, there is running water on the ground. So when these plants are there, forests are there, so fall of that water on the ground is slower, and as slower falling on the groundwater, the water is on ground, so that is running slowly. So that way it regulates stream flow also. Support a variety of industries. A number of industries are there forest based. They get their inputs from the forest. Provide livelihood for many communities. The people depending on that forest, they get their livelihood from the forest. Offer panoramic and scenic view of recreation. The tourist spots are seen can be seen in the forest areas, nearby areas, so that, as we know that they enhance the scenic beauty. So that way offer panoramic and scenic view for recreation. Recreation, you know, that is uh, a kind of enjoying the time. Controls wind force and temperature and causes rainfall, as just before we were discussing. So control wind force. The speed of wind is controlled by the forest cover. They stand as obstacle on the way of wind, so they control wind force. Temperature, as during the transpiration they release moisture in the air, and when the air blows, the temperature of the environment is up to some extent decreasing because of these forest cover. Provide humus to the soil. Their branches, their leaves, when fall on the ground due to decomposition, that convert into humus. So, which is very helpful for the growth of other depending vegetation. Provide shelter to wildlife. The wildlife gets shelter from these forests. India's natural vegetation has undergone many changes due to various factors. What are they? You know that there are number of changes taking place with the process of development. In the name of development, we do number of changes on this earth. So in that, the growing demand of cultivated land, we we are cutting the forest to acquire land from the forest for agriculture purpose, so that we can satisfy the need of food grain of the increasing people, increasing population. Development of industries and mining, as we think that as the population is increasing, there will be huge demand of other goods, required goods, and along with that, with the changing time, we need to enhance our quality of life, the different variety of facilities in the life. So we need industries, and industries influence the mining also. So in the development of these industries and mining also, we cut the forest, we remove the forest from the region. Urbanization. In the name of development, we urbanize the area. Cities are growing day by day. People are migrating towards cities. When industry is developing in any region, that area is slowly moved toward urbanization. So the nearby forest cover is slowly removed from the region. Overgrazing of pasture is causing the removal of vegetation, change of vegetation in the region. Here some pictures you can see about how the in the hilly region we use land for growing crops. Here steps are created. You can see how the steps has been created so that we can use the land found even in the hilly region. The slopes can be used for growth of crops. The people living in that hilly region can satisfy their need of their food requirement. How the that pasture land is used. Industries, urban areas can be seen in this figure. Likewise, some other figures are here. Then, moving toward why we are worried about these removal of vegetation. So, we think about an ecosystem. Let us see what is that. An ecosystem. All the plants and animals in a given area are interlinked and interdependent on each other, as well as the physical environment forming an ecosystem. Means the plant and animals of a region that are interdependent in number of ways. Plant needs something from the animals, as animal provide their animal dung that is converted into humus. So that humus is helpful for the good growth of vegetation. Animal, including human being, animal provide the carbon dioxide, which is very much required for the plants, and that plant provide number of things for the animals. So both are interdependent. What if we think what are the things we the animals get from the plant? So first one is most important, oxygen. Animal needs oxygen for their survival. Without oxygen in the air, they cannot survive on this earth, which is mainly provided by these plants. Food. The primary producer of food that are plants. So animal get food from the plant and shelter also. So this way they are interdependent. Human beings are also an integral part of ecosystem. As here we are talking about the physical environment. So human being is coming in that category. That is also an integral part of ecosystem. In number of ways human being is influencing the natural environment. These plant and animal both. A difference between flora and fauna. Let us talk about difference between this flora and fauna categories. The life existing on this earth are found in these two categories. The plants of a particular region or period listed by species considered as a group of flora. Fauna, a species of animal of a given area, are referred as fauna. A note on the Indian flora. In the beginning also we discussed these things. Let us have a look on these again. 47,000 plant species, standing 10th in the world and 4th in Asia. That flower, that flora. 15,000 flowering plants, which is 6% of the world's total, found in our country. India also rich in non-flowering plants like ferns, algae or alga, whichever you pronounce, fungi or fungi you pronounce. So these non-flowering plants are also very well found in our country. Flora ranges from one found in the tropics to the Arctic, means whatever plants are there, tropics to Arctic means whichever, if you will see these flower plants seen in the world from equator, tropics to the Arctic, the polar region, the nearby area. So that all variety of species of plants and animal, most of that can be seen in our country. Due to the country's varied relief, temperature, rainfall condition. Most of Himalayan and peninsular region are covered with indigenous vegetation. These species are found in the North Indian plains and Thar Desert. Owing the destruction of forest for agriculture and industrial development, several plants are facing extinction. Due to destruction of forest for agriculture and industrial development, the plants, different species of plants are facing extinction. The vegetation cover of India in large part is no more, means in different areas slowly with the passage of time it is seen that in different region the plant cover forest cover has been removed. Natural in real sense means except some inaccessible region like the Thar Desert or the Himalayas. The vegetation has been destroyed in some places or replaced by the human planted man-made forest and degraded by human occupancy. What are biomes? Here mainly we are talking about the plant species. In next module we'll discuss about the animal species. So what is the basis of their grouping? What are biomes and what is the basis of their grouping? A very large ecosystem on land having distinct type of vegetation and animal life is called biome. Plant formations are used as basis of their grouping or identification identification. So as biome is having distinct type of vegetation, a very different from other region. So this is a criteria for identifying the biome and animal life in that region. So the five principal biomes of the world, if we think how the biomes are there, so there are five main biomes found in the world that are forest, savanna, grassland, desert, and tundra. That may be the forest vegetation, savanna vegetation, grassland, desert vegetation, and tundra. And depending on that, the animal life also will vary, and that way they are having the distinct type of feature in these particular areas. Thank you, students. We'll meet in the next module. Keep revising the chapter, whatever topics we discussed here. So please read thoroughly. Read thoroughly in the chapter in your textbook, and the next topics we'll discuss in the next module. Thank you. Have a nice day.